Okay, Year 10. So this week's piece of work that I would like you to do, I'd like you to do a little bit of an exploration of photography manipulation. This is perfect within art and design to help develop ideas, do some quick experiments, and just to try some things out. So I'm going to demonstrate 3 different ways that you can do this. So I'd like you to create a Google slide and take some pictures. Now, you could do some self-portraits, you could take pictures of other people, you might need to take pictures of other things, that's perfectly fine. What I'd then like you to do is when you set up your presentation is to find an image that's been manipulated as inspiration, and then you're going to do your own version. And it could be that you have to maybe, I don't know, you might need to print some out if you can print some out at home, but ideally I'd like you to try and do it on a computer. I'm just going to show you on Google Classrooms because I know everybody's got access to that, but you might have access to your own editing programs. There's Photopea, which you can download, which is a little bit like Photoshop. You can do apps on your phone. There's all sorts of things, but I'm just going to show you 3 really quick ones on your computer. So I've got my image here. If I just do Control, copy and paste, I'm going to end up with a second image. But if you can see with this one, we've got some slightly translucent images on the top to give that feeling of depth. So if you right click on your picture, you have got format options. There's loads of different things that you can do here. So one of the things that you can do under adjustments is you can alter the transparency of your picture. So if we take it down about 50%, then if you just Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste, you've then got an additional one, and you can move that. You can make that a little bit more transparent if you want as well. So you can really play around with getting that feel of a picture. If you want to make it then look like one picture, all you need to do is on the top one is just crop them down just so that they are the same size as your original image. There we go. So there you can see I've got my repeated image. Okay, if you want to get rid of the lines at that side, then just do the same thing with the crop tool. Just take that in, and then the background image, take that in, and what that, oh, get my background one, there we go. And all that does then, it just, you can't see the joins. So it just looks like one image that's been influenced by that one. Okay, so that's technique number 1, is using transparencies. Technique number 2 is splitting your picture. So I've got another picture of myself here. So I'm going to do Control, copy and paste. So I've got 2. And what I'm going to do with this top one is I'm just going to crop it halfway. Okay, so when I click off, it looks like it's one image. And then again, with this one here, you can look at all sorts. So you could use a filter to look at recolouring. You could turn it black and white. We've got neon green if I wished. So there's loads of different little filters that you can play around with on there. You could add drop shadows. You can do reflections. Again, I could take it a little bit transparent if I wanted to. So I've got a little hint of colour. I can make it a little bit brighter. I could alter the contrast, either down or up. So it's just really looking at how you could create another image with a half and half. Okay, so that's your second technique. Third technique, it's sort of this pixelated effect. Now, I'm not going to be able to get it exactly the same as this because it's been done on a computer program, but you can play around with pixels on your actual picture. So we've got some blacked out squares on here. So one of the things that you can do is you can add shapes. So I can add some squares. Now I'm not going to do it black because my background is blue. I'm actually going to fill mine with a blue because then it's going to make it look a little bit like the background. If I wanted to definitely make it look like the background, one of the things that I could do with my original picture is copy and paste it, and then I could crop it down so that I'm just left with a little bit of that background, because then that would come into it as well. So you sort of get the same sort of colour. And then it's about working on this as a grid. So it's just copying and pasting some of this. It does work a little bit better using the background colours, because then when you get to the edge of your picture, it's sort of going to blend in. It doesn't blend in perfectly, but you're sort of getting that feel. You can then play around with the sections of the face if you want to as well. So again, Control, copy and paste, use that crop tool, take it down and select little cubed areas. And then what I can do is just sort of displace them a little bit. So you just sort of move it across, so you're getting that cubed feel. So this is something then that you can just build up, just play up on. As you're going across the face to try and get that feel of things disappearing, if you just make your squares just that little bit narrower, you'll just give that illusion of the square going around the corner. So as if you've got them front on, they would be square, and then as they go around the edge, they sort of become a little bit more rectangular. So you can have a little bit of a play around with this. I'm just going to crop it because it's a slightly different blue. That background there. I'll just give myself a different coloured square to play around with. There we go. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. Undo. Some squares over there. So as I say, it's not exactly the same, but the idea about finding pictures that are inspired by other people are to give you ideas about what you could do with your own work. It's not saying for definite what you've got to do. You're just using it as a little bit of inspiration. Okay, so these are the three that I've got on the presentation. If you want to just have a play around with these, then feel free just to copy and paste the images. So I'll put the presentation on as well as this video so that you've got that information as well. So it's just playing around with those ideas of cubes. I would like you to do at least 3 manipulations. If you are just going to do 3 though, you can't do these 3. I want to see you trying something else, finding something of your own. But it's some way of manipulating a photograph. Okay, I look forward to seeing what you do.